Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling unseen? Or do you wonder why some relationships feel energizing while others can feel really exhausting? Or maybe you've thought, I have a lot of people in my life, but I still feel disconnected. Here's the truth. It often isn't a connection problem, but an awareness problem. Because the barriers to connection are often invisible to the person who's trying to connect. Today, I'm going to help you uncover them. So by the end of this episode, you'll know where connection is breaking down in your life, and you'll know what to do about it. Welcome back. I'm Shari Leid, connection expert, 4-time author, keynote speaker, podcast host, retreat leader, attorney, and creator of the Flip the Box method. After traveling to all 50 states and sharing a meal with a stranger in every state, I discovered something surprising. Connection, it's not luck. It's not chemistry. It's not personality. It's a skill. And like any skill, it can be measured. And that is what we're doing today, a connection audit. Think of it like a mirror, not to judge yourself, but to help you see yourself, because the story we tell ourselves changes everything about ourselves. And often the relationships we want, it's waiting just beyond that one small shift. Before we begin, I want you to hear something. This is not about blame. No, this is about asking the right questions. It's about ownership. Most people ask or talk about why connection isn't working. Flip the Box asks a different question. It asks, what role am I playing in this experience? And that question changes everything. Because the moment you become aware, that's the moment you become powerful. Here's my promise to you. Today, we're going to walk through the Flip the Box method, a 4-step, simple, repeatable framework, FLIP, and this will show you where connection is thriving in your life and where it's breaking down. By the end of this episode, you'll be able to take one simple step this week that will increase your ability to connect. Step number 1, focus. Don't focus on you, focus on who. And by who, I mean the person standing in front of you. This rule rings through whether it's your boss, your client, your customer, your team, your stakeholders, your child, your lover, your neighbor, the grocery clerk, whoever you're communicating with. Don't focus on you, focus on who. I had an experience when I traveled to all 50 states. And in some of the states, I had no leads. So I was sort of cold calling, explaining the project. And I told the people to be transparent that I'm going to try to get media because I knew this was going to be a book and I wanted this message of connection to get out there. I thought the common response, if there's any objection, would be, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a private person, but thank you. Not one person said that. Instead, the response I got more than once was, I don't know if I'm interesting enough for you. That actually broke my heart because I thought, okay, I'm just someone at the time from Washington State that just wants to share a meal with you. Everyone is interesting. And it taught me that so many of us are walking around with an idea that we need to show up in a certain way. We're so focused on ourselves in conversation that we're not connecting. And imagine that if you're focused on yourself, how can you connect to your boss, your supervisor? How can you ask them for a raise or share a new idea? How do you connect with your teams if you're focused on you and don't know the needs of your team? How do you connect with your stakeholders, your clients, your customers if you're focused on you? How do you connect with your family members, your neighbors, your community? So that's step number 1. Don't focus on you, focus on who. And here's the audit question. On all of these, I'm going to give you one audit question, and I'd like you to rate your answers on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being, yes, I'm there, I connect, this is exactly what I do, this is how I feel, this is great. to one where this skill is something I'm missing right now. So I'm going to read the audit question so I don't mess up the question, because there's a specific reason for each question. So on a scale 1 to 10, how often do you enter conversations focused on the other person rather than yourself? Think of the last 5 people you spoke to. How often do you enter conversations focused on the other person rather than yourself? Here's audit question number 2. And I guess I should clarify. So 10, if you focus always on the other person. Score 1 if every time in those conversations, the last 5 conversations, if you're truthful with yourself, you're focusing on you. Okay, 10 if you focus on the other person, 1 if you focus on you. Okay, step number 2, L for listen. Don't listen to reply, listen to identify. Identify what's underneath the meaning. So step 1, F, focus, tells you who matters. Step 2, listen, tells you what matters. So often when I work with teams and leaders of teams, actually, supervisors, managers, CEOs, they'll say, gosh, I keep hiring people that I think will bring something to the table. And I start asking, well, have they brought new ideas? Tell me your experience. And I have to say, more often than not, what I uncover is, without meaning to, supervisors are listening to reply instead of listening to identify. We hire for diversity in ideas, diversity in experience, diversity in age, diversity in education, diversity, like I said, in background, whatever that may be. And when somebody comes in with a new idea, oftentimes we're ready to tell them, no, we don't do it that way. We never have. We have policies and procedures. And we're shutting down exactly the reasons why we brought these new people onto our team. We do that too as parents. We're ready to reply instead of listening to identifying what the concern is, what the issue is, what's really under the words that are being spoken. We do it with relationships as well. So oftentimes when communication breaks down, it's not because either side isn't bright enough. It's not necessarily because of the words that they're using. What it is the translation. Something's getting messed up in the meaning, that we're listening to reply instead of listening to identify. So that's step number 2. And here's the audit question. When was the last time you asked a follow-up question because you were genuinely curious? So on a scale of 1 to 10, again, you could think about those last 5 conversations you've had. The question is, when was the last time you asked a follow-up question because you were genuinely curious? 1 being, I asked no questions. I don't remember asking one follow-up question in those last 5 conversations. 5 would be, okay, yeah, sometimes I did. And I kind of was curious. Maybe I wasn't one of the conversations out of the 5. Or 10 being, I always ask a follow-up question. I am genuinely curious to know, where that idea is coming from, what is behind the idea. Had they ever done that before? Whatever it is, but that follow-up question indicates curiosity. It's amazing where the conversation can go from there and the connection it creates. So we have focus, we have listen, and now we're at step number 3. I is for ignite. Don't choose control, ignite the soul. And what I mean by ignite the soul, I mean energize the person in front of you. Get them excited, build that trust. Don't go into control mode, because so many times, right, you've focused on the person, you've listened to them, and then connection doesn't seem to happen. And why is that? It's because at that point, you made the wrong choice. You chose control rather than igniting the soul. And when I say you, I'm talking about me as well. I used to make the wrong choice all of the time, especially as a parent. I would focus on my child, I would listen, and then I'd immediately go into control mode. And we do this also in business. We ask for feedback from our team members. We tell them we want to hear your opinions on things. And we get the feedback and we start on that right path, but then we immediately go into that control mode and we lose engagement, we lose involvement, and we lose the trust of our team members. So, step number 3, don't choose control, ignite the soul. And here's the audit question for the third step. The audit question is, where in your life are you choosing control over curiosity? And when I say curiosity, I'm saying kind of like with listen, right? You're asking questions. You're getting to know what excites that person, what will get them engaged in the messaging that you're delivering, in that connection. So where in your life are you choosing control over curiosity? Again, on a scale of 1 to 10. And for simplicity, you can use those 5 conversations that we've been talking about, your last 5 conversations. In those last 5 conversations, did you choose control? Did you listen to them, hear their story, and immediately start, giving them your take on what they should do? Or did you get them excited, ask more questions, stay connected? Step number 3, don't choose control, ignite the soul. Okay, now we are at step number 4, because this is not the fly framework, it's the flip the box framework. So we have focus, we have listen, we have ignite. Step number 4 is play. Don't play small, play ball. And what I mean by that is don't try to make yourself small. Be who you are meant to be, your unique talents. We all have been placed here with our unique talents and gifts. When we walk into the room is not the same as it was before we walked in. But so often we tend to play small. And you can't lead, you can't connect in a way that's as meaningful and as powerful as possible if you're not fully playing out, if you're not being your true authentic self, if you're afraid of judgment, if you're afraid of being weird. And did you know the root of the word weird is spelled W-Y-R-D, and it means fate or destiny. So when you embrace your weird, you're embracing your fate or your destiny, who you uniquely are. In fact, when you think of the people you admire, the leaders, the innovators, even the celebrities that you admire, there's something weird about them, right? There's something about them that's a little bit different. They embrace their weird. And that has allowed them to live big, to stop playing small, but getting into the game and playing ball. So that's step number 4. So here's the audit question for step number 4. The question is, I experience conversations without the fear of judgment, and I feel free to express my opinions. Here's the audit question. I feel free to express my opinions in conversations because I'm not afraid of judgment. I'm not afraid of being looked at as being weird. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm not afraid of expressing my opinions in conversations because I'm not afraid of judgment or afraid of being seen as weird. 1 meaning you hold back a lot in conversations. And this is not about being, crass and not polite. Not at all. This is about being afraid to speak up and saying your voice, being afraid to set boundaries, because setting boundaries isn't selfish, right? And being aware of your own self-worth. Don't play small, play ball. So that's question number 4, scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning, yes, I always hold back and I'm always aware of the way I present myself. I'm always aware that I might be judged, and that keeps me from saying something because I don't want to rock the boat. To 10 being, I freely express myself. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. And I don't mind being weird because I know my weird is my superpower. So there you go. That's the simple 4-step questionnaire, the simple 4-step framework. So you can see where connection is thriving. Is it focus? Are you a good listener? Are you great at igniting people's soul? Are you great at getting into the game and sharing your opinions freely? Or is there an area that could use a little bit of work? Connection isn't built in one big moment. It's built in small choices. The choice on who to focus on, the choice on how to listen, the choice on releasing control, and the choice to get into the game. So if you want to go deeper, I've created the Flip the Box Audit app. It has a few more questions than what we went through today, but it's very quick to use, and it will allow you to practice exactly what we went through. To see if you're doing this after conversations, you can quickly go to the app and see if you focused, you listened, you ignited, you played, and then it becomes a habit. And once this easy 4-step framework becomes a habit, you can connect with anyone you choose to in 60 seconds or less. And that lays an amazing foundation for a deeper connection as time goes on. My contact information is in the show notes. The link to the app, which is absolutely free, is also in the show notes. My website is sharileid.com, ShariLeid.com. And please like, share, follow this podcast, because this is how we start connection, and this is how we get these tools out so that we all can create better relationships, become leaders who connect to our clients, our team members, our customers, and our stakeholders, and even more important, connect to the people who matter in our personal lives as well. Take care. What if connection was something you didn't just hope for, but something that you could create on demand? That's the promise of my new book, Flip the Box, a blueprint for human-centered leadership in a disconnected world, which launches February 2027. And we're launching this book with a 9-city nationwide dinner tour. This will be like nothing else. This is where conversations happen, where connection is made. It'll be an incredible evening, and we want you at the table, because one conversation can change a business. One conversation can change a life. For more information, please visit sharileid.com/book-tour. Hope to see you there.